All right, let's jump right in. What we're looking at today isn't just some dusty philosophical text. We are stepping right into the middle of a high-stakes, dramatic confrontation. A warning delivers specifically for our time, for the year 2026. This is the story of what happens after the big victory, after you've won the great war for freedom, only to find a far more dangerous enemy was waiting for you the whole time. And boom, with that one question, we're thrown right into the thick of it. That's the voice of Wotan, the old god, the one who sees everything, talking to our triumphant hero Friedrich. Friedrich is the embodiment of what the text calls der Will, the will itself. A massive victory has just been won, but Wotan sees something Friedrich doesn't. He sees a glitch in the masterpiece. So, to really get why Wotan is so concerned, we first have to understand the sheer scale of this victory. This wasn't just a little scuffle. This was a full-blown metaphysical revolution, the complete overthrow of an entire oppressive reality. I mean, just look at the scorecard here. The Chancery of Crystal, that old tyrannical structure, it's gone, shattered. The ledgers, the old records of debts and sins, they've been tossed in the fire. Humanity, led by the will, has finally declared itself sovereign. It has achieved the I am, that ultimate state of self-realization. The Faustian dream of becoming like a god is no longer a dream. By every single measure, this is total, absolute victory. But right when the celebration should be starting, Wotan points to a detail that everyone else has just completely overlooked, something that seems totally insignificant. A tiny error, a glitch, right there at the feet of the victor. And this, right here, is where the story pivots from triumph to, well, terror. And there it is, the warning. It's not a dragon. It's not some demon army or a new tyrant. It's a poodle, a glitch. And Wotan gives it a name, Atman Null. He's begging Friedrich to see it not for what it looks like, but for what it truly is. Friedrich, he's on top of the world. He's dismissive. He looks at this poodle, Atman Null, and just sees a philosophical leftover, a familiar. A relic from old thinkers like Schopenhauer or Diogenes. He sees it as a creature of the not I, just part of the external world that he's already conquered. He thinks he can just file it away, stick a new label on it, or maybe just ignore it altogether. It's a loose end, nothing more. But Wotan's view? Oh, it is terrifyingly different. To him, this is no relic. This is the terminal thesis, the final concluding argument that ends everything. It's the mirror of Sophia, the mirror of wisdom itself, but it's been painted pitch black. The thing is, it doesn't argue, it doesn't fight, it just radiates this field of mindless existence. The crucial point to get here is that Wotan isn't seeing an object. He's seeing a fundamental force, like gravity. So what on earth makes this glitch so dangerous? Well, it's not about power or strength in any way we would normally think about it. Its method of attack is so much more subtle. It's like a kind of metaphysical gravity that just pulls everything, and I mean everything, down. And this just perfectly explains how it works. Atman Null doesn't get into a debate with you. It doesn't offer a counterargument. No, it infects the very tools you use to think. It makes your own logic feel clunky, exhausting, heavy. It just drains the energy right out of the process of reason itself. I absolutely love this metaphor. Your Kantian edge, that's your sharpest, most precise, analytical part of your intellect. The very weapon that won you the war in the first place, it renders it completely useless. It becomes a dull, rusted butter knife. You can't cut through problems anymore, because the will to even try has been crushed under this incredible weight. And this is the absolute core of the threat, and maybe why it feels so close to home for so many of us. You look at this enemy, and you don't feel anger. You don't feel the will to fight. You feel the temptation to just stop. It's the violent relief of apathy. It's that seductive whisper that all this struggle is pointless and that giving up would feel so, so good. It's an enemy that promises you peace through total emptiness. This is what makes it the absolute zero of the spirit. This force, it exists completely outside our framework for meaning. It has no debt to the past. It has no ambition for the future. And most chilling of all, it doesn't even recognize you. Your great achievements, your sovereign I am, your entire being, it's all meaningless. It has already forgotten your name. I mean, how do you even begin to fight something that doesn't acknowledge you exist? So, the entire nature of the game has just been flipped on its head. The struggle for freedom, that's over. Now, a much harder struggle begins, the struggle for purpose itself. This is a war against the ultimate, soul-crushing question, so what? And if you put them side by side, you really see how massive this shift is. The old war was clear. The enemy was a tyrant, the goal was freedom, you were in a meaningful struggle. But this new war? The enemy is dissolution itself. It's a war against emptiness. The goal isn't to achieve something new, it's just to maintain a reason to exist, to hold on to your purpose, your telos. The enemy isn't an army, it's a void. And this is Wotan's absolutely devastating question. All of our striving, our building, our dreaming, it's all pointed towards some future goal. But Atman Nul is what happens when you've already seen the end of everything, and we're just unimpressed. You found it boring. How do you motivate yourself to build a future when your enemy embodies the ultimate futility of all futures? So, this brings us to the final act. That great victory put the human will and the human intellect on a pedestal. But this new enemy, this Atman Nul, it puts that very same intellect on trial for its life. And with that line, the threat is no longer a passive thing. It's an active condition. The Null Protocol has been initiated. This isn't some future attack plan, it's a state of being. The slow, creeping infection of apathy isn't a possibility anymore. It is the present reality. So for 2026, Wotan's warning wraps up with a new set of impossible trials for our heroes. Der Wille, the will, has to find a purpose while drowning in meaninglessness. His ally, Donar, the embodiment of action and pure force, has to figure out how to punch a fog. And the Red Architect, the great builder of the future, has maybe the hardest test of all, to look directly into that black mirror and still find a reason to dance. And really, in the end, it all comes back to the poodle. This huge, metaphysical battle is grounded in a simple biological truth, that for all our grand ideas, for all our intellect that reaches for the stars, our mind is still part of a machine. And that machine gets tired. It's a machine that eventually, desperately, just wants to rest. Atman Nul is just the pure manifestation of that urge to sleep. And that's it. That is the final, lingering question Wotan leaves us with. After you've defeated all the external monsters, how do you defeat the one inside of you? How do you keep building, keep striving, keep creating, when the most powerful and seductive force in the universe is the simple, quiet, and peaceful urge to just let go and do nothing at all?